Hey everyone, it's 10 types, and rotation is probably the biggest event in the Pokemon TCG every single year. If you're not familiar with what rotation is, it only happens in the standard format. It might happen in other formats that are, I guess, based around standard, but it's a standard thing where the past, like the oldest year of cards are removed from the Pokemon TCG. So right now in the current standard format, we can see that it's actually all the Scarlet and Violet era sets. So it's Black Bolt and is like in Black Bolt and White Flare are the newest sets. The oldest sets legal are Scarlet and Violet. And then you can see older than that, the Sword and Shield era cards. None of those are legal except for cards that happen to get reprinted, like Professor's Research or something. But so you can play with these, and then of course, as new sets get added, the format gets bigger. But then, you don't want it to be too big. There are other formats for that, like expanded, but then they rotate out the oldest year's worth of cards. That will be, I believe, Pele and Face will be the newest set rotated out. It's a year, but it's actually. It's in Japan, essentially. Japan has a slightly different release schedule. Anyways, that doesn't matter too much for this. But anyways, today we're going to be taking a look at the decks in the metagame right now, as well as future decks a little bit, and take a look at what we think will be the best in the new post-rotation format. I will say I am actually I moved, so tell me if my audio sounds okay. I think it should be okay, but tell me if there's background noise or other weird stuff. Still working on that a little bit. But anyways, we're going to take a look at the current metagame, looking at Limitless Online here. And the top deck in the game, I guess, is Goldengo. Goldengo is a card that is rotating. Yeah, so this is G block. So G block cards are rotating. H and I are not rotating. And then I will say, I didn't say this yet. We will be obviously getting new cards. Rotation will be with the near the beginning of next year with the first main set of the year. So we'll have Mega Evolutions, and then the second set of Mega Evolutions called, I honestly don't remember the name, but it has like Mega Charizard and stuff. So we'll talk about those cards a little bit here. But Goldengo is rotating, right? So that's that. There isn't really anything else to say about the deck. You're not losing like Genesect, but the deck itself is rotating. So you could play. Wait, there's a Grafaiai. I think the Grafaiai is also rotating. I don't know all the card rotations off the top of my head, but yeah, this is rotating here. Then we have the next deck, which is Marnie's Grimstyle with Frostlass here. Not the number 2 deck, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I definitely said Gardevoir is better than that. And then Dragapult also, but that's split into variants here. But anyways, this deck isn't really losing much, I don't think. You have Marnie's that's sticking around, and that's an I regulation mark. For this video, I and H regulation marks don't matter, but this is I, so it will be staying in the game for a while. And the core of the deck, the Marnie, is Grimmsnarl EX with like the Spikesmith Gym Stadium as well, is still in the game, right? So you are losing Technical Machine Evolution. Are we losing? I think we're losing Arven. Yeah, we're losing Arven as well. So that's like not so good for the deck, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think we're also losing Professor's Research. I don't know if that's like really confirmed. I mean, it's not. Theoretically, any card could just be reprinted. But we're gonna have like draw supporters, obviously. I think, are we also losing Iono? Yeah, I guess we are. But anyways, the supporters are gonna change. Not gonna really talk about that for the decks unless it's like very important and core to the deck. Monkey Dory is also staying. That's an H block. Frostlass, same thing. H block. Oh, yeah, they're the same set. Yeah, they're the same set. And then Badoo, I guess, is in the deck, which is still staying with an H block. And I mean, pretty much everything in the deck is staying. Obviously, you're going to lose some trainers, but that's okay. Losing the TMs and Arven's like a little annoying, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think Barnes is still going to be very solid. It's a very solid deck in standard. I say that's the word to describe it. It's not going to be a crazy deck. If you know my thoughts on it, you know I don't like love it because it doesn't do anything crazy, but it is a solid, consistent deck. So definitely, good post rotation. Obviously, things could change. Looking at the metagame, because I haven't talked about Megas yet, but Megas are going to be in the game. I don't know how Mars will fare against those. I don't know how good Megas are going to be, though. The best one is, it's Gardevoir, right? We'll talk about Gardevoir in a second, but Gardevoir EX itself is rotating. Dragapult here, though, not rotating, and obviously Dracoloak not rotating either. This deck not losing too many pieces is good. It's losing Luminous Energy. I don't think that matters. I'm going to be, yeah, it is losing it. So I don't think that really matters personally. Yeah, I think Dragapult's going to be fine. I mean, the core of the deck is Dragapult EX. Dracoloak is also very important, and then the other stuff is less important. So Dragapult should definitely still be very good post-rotation. I'd probably be looking at it as like a a true top deck. Not necessarily the best deck in the game, but probably very good still. Lose Clefairy EX is not going to rotate until after Dragapult EX rotates, so that's a little annoying, but I don't know if it's a huge deal here either. But ultimately, Dragapult EX definitely a really interesting. Oh, I don't know if it's interesting. It's like really highly played, but definitely a very good deck still. Then we have the next deck here, which is Gardevoir, and Gardevoir rotates, right? Gardevoir EX is a Pokemon that rotates and is generally paired with Mega Gardevoir EX as well. Mega Gardevoir EX is a card, but where is it? Here it is, which is like I guess good in Japan right now. It's a little weird because Mega Gardevoir EX is good, but it's within Gardevoir EX, right? So the heart of the deck is Gardevoir EX. Mega Gardevoir EX, if you don't know, it accelerates Psychic Energy with its attack, but it's a 3-prizer here, and it's a stage 2, so that's not so good. And then the second attack does damage based on Psychic Energy in play. There is a new item card called Wonder Patch, which will be in the format with Mega Gardevoir EX, which can get the energies on the board, and there are some ways to accelerate energy, but ultimately I don't think they're really at all good enough. I don't think Mega Gardevoir EX is absurd with Gardevoir EX. I think it's quite good. But Gardevoir EX is also arguably the best energy acceleration Pokemon, like literally of all time. So if you don't have that, that's going to be a huge drop off. I think what Screamtail is that rotating? Yeah. So I think like everything in the deck's rotating. I guess not Monkey Dory. Not Jellicent EX either. Jellicent EX, don't really know if that'll be good without Gardevoir EX. It could be okay. I mean, Item Lock's nice, but I don't expect it to be super good. So, honestly, a lot of these decks, they're either like rotating or not rotating at all. Raging Bull EX here is a Pokemon that is not rotating. Yeah, okay, I was pretty sure it wasn't. You are not losing Teal Pond EX either, so you still have that. You are losing Professor Sada's Vitality, though, so that's pretty bad. Will Raging Bull EX be okay? I mean, it plays Crispin. Oh, this list doesn't play that many Crispins. But that doesn't seem very good, right? Professor Sada's Vitality is not broken for ancient decks, but it's very, very good and very important. So I don't think Raging Bull EX will be very good without it. You could play it though if you wanted to. I'm not sure how you get the fighting or lightning energy on off the top of my head. You could use electric. That's actually kind of interesting. Is it good? Probably not. You could use, I don't know. Comment down below if you have a good idea. There is the Sandy Strax EX. Did that one is that one rotating? Yeah, that one is rotating. So yeah, you can't use that either. I don't think the deck's necessarily dead. I think it could rework itself. Raging Bull EX is just a solid Pokemon. I think it's definitely going to be weaker unless we see a very, very good way to play it, a very good alternate way to play it. Because Teal Pond EX works with Sadas, right? But you need like all the pieces to kind of come together here. But the ancient stuff, I mean, Koraidon, I'm still a huge fan of that card as well. Not that, I mean, you still need Sadas, but I do like that. I mean, Raging Bull could be playable, but it needs to rework itself. I think this is the first stack we're talking about that actually needs to do that. Ethan's is fine, right? The trainers Pokemon are honestly kind of boring because like they're fine. The thing you need for Ethan's is the Ethan's cards. There are other important cards, but yeah, you just like play the Ethan stuff because they're all in the same set, so they're not rotating. Then there's also Charizard, Dragapult Charizard. So obviously Charizard is rotating. If you weren't aware, yeah, Charizard DX is rotating. So that one not going to be so good, as in it you can't play it. Joltik Box is another deck that is interesting here. Another one of those like kind of cool ones here. Joltik is not rotating. It was in Stellar Crown. That being said, Iron Hands EX is rotating. Pikachu EX is not rotating though, but Miraidon EX is rotating. Miraidon EX rotating is a pretty big loss for the deck. I mean, Iron Hands EX is also a big loss for the deck. Miraidon though is a way that you set up much better. Iron Hands EX is a card that, I mean, Miraidon's also an attacking option as well, but Iron Hands EX is a meaningful attacking option in some matchups. Also, I don't think Pikachu EX is going to be hitting the right numbers you're looking for with the Megas. I do like Joltik. I don't like Joltik Box, but I do like Joltik as a Pokemon. I don't know if it will have a spot in the game, but it could. There's the new Mega Kangaskhan EX, which is a colorless Mega. There's also Mega Manectric EX. I think they're pretty terrible together. I mean, I'm not a I don't think Mega Electric EX is bad. I think it's kind of mediocre, but I think it works a lot better with Electric Box, which I'll actually talk about here as well. Miraidon Electric. Obviously, Miraidon EX is rotating in this deck. Again, Iron Hands EX is rotating. This Tapu Koko EX is rotating as well. Zekrom EX is not rotating. You still have that, but that's more of a late game option. It's not like a bad attacker, but it's not like it can't be the main attacker. It could be, I guess it could be the main attacker, but you still need a substantial attacker, like a very meaningful secondary attacker to start the game with, right? So Zekrom EX kind of sketchy there. And then Zera Aura is also like not rotating. That's a cool card as like a tech option, but it's very techy, so it's not a bad card. But I think the deck will have to rework itself here with rotation. Then we have the Joltik stuff again. Oh, you do have UBX. I forgot that as a colorless option. And yeah, so I think that could be okay. But nothing, nothing. It's not looking amazing. It's not looking amazing or anything. But then we have the next deck here. That would be, I guess, Flareon. Flareon, I think, is fine. Not losing anything too important here. You do still have, you're losing. What are you losing in this deck? I don't know. You have most of the stuff, right? You got Crispin. You have the evolutions. Are you losing an Eevee? Yeah, you're apparently losing this Eevee, but I don't think that matters. Noctowl, I haven't talked about that. That's still in the game. You have the stuff, right? It's mostly in Prismatic Evolutions. You have all those cards still. Sparkling Crystal still around, so I think this deck's going to be fine. Also, I don't think it, kind of like some of the other decks we've been talking about, it's not an amazing deck. It's an okay deck, but it's all right here. Looking at the rest of these decks, I don't think there's anything super meaningful. I didn't talk about Charizard by itself, but it's rotating. Oh, Cynthia's. I'm a huge fan of Cynthia's. I haven't talked about. Well, no, I was gonna say I haven't talked about this deck that much, but I have. This deck's gonna be insane. We are looking at a bunch of crazy new fighting type cards with the new sets, Mega Evolutions. I don't remember. It's got to be Mega Brave. Yeah, so you got this card draws you cards, though it's not necessarily the card you're looking for in Cynthia's. But then this one increases your damage. This is increased consistency. It's like crazy. There's also the like Grass type Evolution card, which is nice, has nice synergy with the deck. Overall, I think Cynthia's will be amazing and potentially a top deck here post rotation. Then we are moving on though to the new decks from Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia. The other fighting deck here is Mega Lucario EX. Mega Lucario EX is a deck that is very, very solid, I guess. It's not amazing. As I said, the fighting type support is insane though. So you can do like an OK's first attack and Accelerate Smagy. Second attack is fine as well. Then we also have, let's see, we got the Mega Venusaur EX. Mega Venusaur EX here is a card that can move energy around. Then you want to pair this with healing options. It's okay. It's not amazing in my opinion, but it's all right. Then we have Mega Camerupt DX. Mega Camerupt DX is a deck that I'm a big fan of, doing damage if your opponent's active is burned, which isn't that hard to do. And also you're able to hit for only one energy. So it's like a very good one energy attacker. One energy attackers aren't really something that I think we see in Standard, unless I'm forgetting it something. But there's Ethans, which I guess they're kind of similar here as like mediocre damage amounts that they're hitting, like good, but not like one-shotting. And then also it's going to be only one energy. It is an evolution here. This one's though much more tanky, but it is a 3-prizer. So in that sense, it's very different. Then there's also like the basic megas are not really deck build rounds in my opinion. Mega Absol EX is kind of interesting with some stuff. Also, I guess I should mention here Lily's Determination. It's a supporter. Shuffle draw 8 at the beginning of the game. Shuffle draw 6 if you've taken prizes. It's absurd. It's very, very good. So that'll be like the new draw supporter. Then there is some other fighting stuff, and I can go into it too much, though. The big, most interesting Pokemon to talk about here, though, is Mega Gardevoir EX, in my opinion, which we talked about some before, because I think it's going to be bad. I've heard some people say that they think it's going to be good with Mega Patch. I will also, I guess, mention Mega Diancie EX here. This one does up to 240 for 2 Psychics here. You do need to discard them, though. It is a basic. It's interesting. This is the most deck build around basic Mega I think we've seen. It's not amazing in my opinion. I think it's all right. I think Mega Gardevoir EX, though, as I said earlier, will be terrible. Unfortunately, without Gardevoir EX, I mean, you never know what's coming. They could like reprint it for all I know, but well, they're not going to do that. But Mega Gardevoir EX is interesting. I think it's pretty bad, though. I'm not going to lie. Then we do have Mega Latios EX. This is also like a deck builder on big basic here. It can just swing for tons of damage there's a Latios, which essentially powers it up. I think this is very solid and maybe the replacement for Raging Bull EX. It has some similarities in its gameplay patterns where you want to get a bunch of energy on your board, swing for a bunch of damage to take a one-shot, but you're not one-shotting everything. So that could be an issue. I don't think this deck's going to be crazy, but I don't think it's bad either. Mega Manectric EX I talked about earlier. I mentioned it with the lightning stuff. I think this with the electric could be very solid. I mentioned Zekrom EX as well. I think this is all right. Mega Electric EX as your main attacker is a decent main attacker. I don't think it's amazing, but I mean, honestly, I don't think I think the Lightning Box attackers in Iron Hands EX and Pikachu EX are better than this because they're like basics. This one is okay. I think it's on par maybe with Miraidon. No, it's a little better than Miraidon EX as an attacker here. Could you get by with it? I think you can. I think Lightning Box could be decent. As I said, Joltik is bad. I didn't say what it did. I don't think, but it's all lightning energy. So like the grass energy is just like going to go into nowhere. So you could put one in or something, but it's probably not what you're looking for. Mega Electric EX, though, definitely a card I do like post rotation here with Electric. Then we have you could play with Magneton as well. I don't believe Magneton um, is rotating from from Surging Spark, so it's not rotating there. So you could play that. I don't love that as much as with Electric. I do like Electric here, but overall those megas are okay. I don't think there's anything amazing there, but there's decent stuff. And the fighting type stuff has very good support. We will be getting more cards as well. We're going to get 3 more sets, including the first Mega Evolution set. 2 more that have not been revealed much at all. But then we do have a few more megas here. We do have Mega Gengar EX. Mega Gengar EX has an ability that says your opponent takes 1 less prize card when knocking out. Essentially, there are some ways that they can get around it, but it's pretty good here. It does not stack as well. Its attack, though, isn't so good, but as a support ability, it's kind of crazy. However, effects like this haven't really seen play. There's been Munkidora EX, Lily's Pearl. I mean, Lily's Pearl hasn't seen, it's not like it's seen no play. But it's seen very little play for the fact that it's paired with one of the best. I don't know if one of the best Pokemon in the game. That's a bit of a stretch, but like Lily's Clefairy EX is. I mean, you can look at how much play it's seen, right? And people have barely played Lily's Pearl. That's bad. So these effects are fun, but I'd say they're a little gimmicky, and your opponent can kind of get around them more than you'd like. So Mega Gengar EX could be decent. There are a lot of different things you could do. You can give up no prizes with basics. With single prizers, you can give up. Give up 1 less prize. So it's really cool here. There's some fun synergies with Mega Absol EX, which I didn't mention because it's kind of mediocre. But with Mega Gengar EX, it could be interesting. There's the Loyal 3, which aren't rotating. So those are kind of fun there. Don't know if there's anything quite there because this is a Stage 2 3-prizer. I mean, it's not really a 3-prizer, but it kind of is. I mean, it says it's a 3-prizer on the card. But overall, some stuff there. Then we do have Mega Charizard EX and Mega Dragonite EX. I'm just going to say I think Mega Dragonite EX is pretty bad. You could get it powered up with like Electric, kind of like what I said with what's it called, with Mega Electric EX, but I think Mega Electric EX is better because it has less HP, but it has another attack. It doesn't have the ability, but it has free retreat, so I think they're pretty comparable, honestly. The ability is better than free retreat actually by a bit, but it's not insanely useful all that often. I mean, you'll get something like Pekron EX, which is like decent. Pekron EX isn't even played in every deck that plays Darkness Pokemon as a main attacker, and it's a basic. It does poison you, but it's not like this is a Stage 2, and it gives up 3 prizes. And, it doesn't have a weakness. It is weak to Lily's Clefairy EX, so it's pretty sketchy there. Mega Charizard EX is interesting here. Discard as much fire energy from your Pokemon as you want. And this pairs with the new Oricorio EX as well as Emboar, though I think Emboar is, like, bad. Not terrible, but not as good as Oricorio EX, which lets you accelerate a bunch of fire energies onto your board. It's Emboar, but it's, like, a basic. It is a 2-prizer, but you do need Mega Charizard EX in play as well. I will say that. It's not just a basic Emboar, but within Mega Charizard, X, EX, this card, also terrible name, but yeah, you do have something there. I do like it. I don't love it, but I think it's a fun little card here. And yeah, overall, I think the Mega Charizard deck is all right. I do think Mega Charizard EX or Mega Charizard X EX with the single prize Charizard, 2-prize Charizard EX is a lot better, right? Charizard EX is super good. But I think there is something there. Overall, I'd expect I'd say substantial meta shifts. Looking at like say prismatic evolutions, right? This format you see. We can look at the metagame. Yes, Lugia rotated, and I mean Regidrake was like played some rotated, Lost Zone rotated, but like these weren't super highly played. Lugia was like I guess decently highly played, but most of the top decks did not rotate. Looking even before that, we can see I don't think any of these decks rotated, but Miraidon Flappy rotated, I guess. But I mean, like Miraidon Flappy is kind of back, and BU rotated, I think, and then in Inteleon. But in previous rotations, we haven't seen huge shakeups. I am expecting pretty big shakeups with this rotation from what we see now. Will it be as big of a shakeup from 6 months from now, right before rotation? I don't know, but I am expecting meaningful changes. But tell me down below in the comment section what you think, and make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.